That was the first year that they had opened in the US. They opened as K2 Partnering in January 2004. So, Tom Leonard, who's the individual that ran the Providence office, Joe, everybody there, it was a very small group. They were trained in SAP. They actually, back then, they used to fly people to London to do their onboarding. And you can imagine how expensive that would get. We really didn't have any formal onboarding plans or trainings or anything like that. There was some structure in place, but it was very much in startup mode. So, that was something that I did over the course of my first year there, really just because I saw a need for it. I remember going from, I think it was 5 to 17 to 24 million in revenues the first 3 years that, the K2 Providence office was open. We opened 2 offices, US offices, for K2 in basically a relatively short period of time of 18 months. I remember going to the San Francisco office, and those guys had been out there for probably a couple more months before they hired their first recruiter. So that's when I flew out, and they didn't have anything that I needed. They didn't have any whiteboards. They didn't have any, dry erase markers, nothing. So I had to go to Staples and get all of that because they just pretty much had their phones and their computers and, a way to take notes. Coming from London, it's a different culture, and there's certain words that are acceptable, in the, British culture versus the American culture. So they were hiring obviously Americans, being based in San Francisco to work in the office. So I set up like a swear jar for them. And every time they used a word that was not appropriate for, other people to hear, they had to put $1 into the swear jar.